Now, every now and then I like to dig into history, don't I? When we're talking about budgets and spending and taxes and private property, we're talking about something that is foundational. James Madison, 1792. Property. The word property. This is crucial. He said, this term in its particular application means that dominion which one man claims and exercises over the external things of the world in exclusion of every other individual. In its larger and juster meaning, it embraces everything to which a man may attach a value and have a right, and which leaves to everyone else the like advantage. In the former sense, a man's land or merchandise or money is called his property. In the latter sense, a man has a property in his opinions and the free communication of them. He has a property of peculiar value in his religious opinions and in the profession and practice dictated by them. He has a property very dear to him in the safety and liberty of his person. He has an equal property in the free use of his faculties and free choice of the objects on which to employ them. In a word, as a man is said to have a right to his property, he may be equally said to have a property in his rights. And it goes on. Declaration of Independence, unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is, the pursuit of things that motivate you, that make you happy, and that includes acquiring and possessing and maintaining property. See, property is more than a physical asset. It's more than a bank account. Property represents how you spend a significant portion of your life, a significant portion of your day, working to acquire assets, whatever kind of assets, whether you use your brain or your hands or both. Property is the manifestation of your free will. And it's finite. One day you'll be dead. So you only have so much time on this earth, and much of that time is spent working. Follow me? So when a president of the United States says, you over there, I want more of your property, what he is saying is, you over there, you are going to work more for me and my agenda and my programs and my priorities because I say you will, whether you like it or not. Remember, money, physical property is nothing more than the manifestation of your labor. So when they say you're going to pay 10% more, that means they own 10% more of your life. When teachers demand more and more pensions and health care and higher salaries, you are going to pay for it with your time, your life. When the President of the United States says, I'm going to spend 1.3 whatever trillion and we cannot cut it, he's saying, I want more of the time you spend on this earth, God's earth. I want to take more of that time out of your life, whether you like it or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Madison would understand what I'm saying. John Locke would understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. Put aside the materialism. Put aside the currency. Think about what I'm saying. One step deeper than you're used to from people talking to you day in and day out with the superficial news accounts. When they say somebody's going to go without home heating oil, somebody's going to go without this, somebody's going to go without that, they are saying to those of you who work, you are going to work more for the government, and we in the government are going to decide what to do with your labor. Let's say you pay 25% of what you earn to the federal government. That means you're working 25% of the time for the federal government. 1/4 of your workday for the federal government. If you pay 40% or 36.9 and you lose some deductions as it goes up, let's just round it off 40%. That means you're spending almost half your day working for the federal government. And the federal government takes your money, that is your labor, and gives it to somebody else. They give a piece of your life to somebody else, meaning you're working for somebody else you don't even know. You don't even know if they deserve it. Or it could be that, in this case, with this president and the Democrat Party as it's formed today, it could mean they want to take some of your labor and the fruits of your labor and give it to a political group or a constituent group that supports them. That is why it is crucial that the federal government comply and operate within the Constitution of the United States. Or these politicians and bureaucrats have an absolute demand on your liberty, on your labor. Because where does it end? Where do you draw the line? How does it stop? Answer, it doesn't. For years behind this microphone, 7.5 years, I've asked a question which I consider the key question that the liberals can never answer. And it is this: having essentially discarded the governmental limits for the central government in our Constitution, what are the limits to your agenda? What are the limits to your philosophy of redistributing wealth, of taxation, of spending, if we don't comply with the Constitution? They have no answer. You want to know why? There are no limits. Liberals, you need to think this through. Statists, you are enslaving yourselves and all the rest of us to the federal government. Most of you don't even know what you're doing. But that is what you're doing. And worse than that, Paul Ryan was on this show earlier in the week, and he made it clear that the quote-unquote middle class, whatever that is, but the bulk of the people in this country, when your kids are our age, between 35 and 55, not all of you, obviously, but I'm talking about the middle-aged, middle class. They're going to be paying at least 66% of every dollar they earn to the federal government. Before we get to the state and local governments, we are enslaving our own children to a future that is dark. That's why this budget battle is not just about Obama and Republican leaders. It's about us. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.